Right, it's time to tighten up the head. Now, as you can see, probably I've been a bit busy bolting bits on, going into the container and finding out where all the bits are. I've got some other jobs to do. I've just stuck the manifold on here because I just found it. Now, the face on here are renowned for those metal gaskets to eat into it. So I'm going to take the studs out of here somehow, and I'm going to replace them with stainless steel studs because I've found some on Amazon that are the right size, and we're going to face off that flange. That's easy. We're just going to do it on a sanding bench, you know, like a belt sander. That's easy because they're renowned for blowing the gaskets here. So I'm going to make sure that's flat. But today we're going to be tightening down the head. Now, you probably know that I'm going to use the HS 2.8 method. And why have I got it close to the lift? Because I've got it clamped to my lift so it doesn't move. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to follow this pattern as usual. You know, that's the regular pattern. But on here, I've got each bolt what it should be torqued down to. Now, you just do it like one shot and it's done. None of that torque, you know, Newton meter thingy, then 60, 60, 20, that's gone. So what we've got is we're going to use 2 torque wrenches. We're going to use this beam type to do the initial torque, which is like 60 Newton meters, and if I'm right, I've got it marked just here on my torque wrench, so when I pull that down, it's 60. And then we reach over and get the digital bar, which will measure in angles, which is really good, and then we're going to swing the first bolt down to 150 degrees. Now, of course, because this is on wheels, this is the reason why it's clamped down there, because you're like Torval and Dean going around your workshop with bloody engine on wheels. So that's what we're going to do. I'll do 1 or 2, but I need to find a marker pen to mark the bolts which we've done. Right, so I've got my marker pen. Let's follow this pattern. So that is going to go onto my torque wrench, and let's have a look at this one. So this one's going to be the first one. Look what size bolts it is. Wow, that's off to a flying start. My socket won't go into these recesses here. Whoa, that's a mess about. I didn't realise that. I'm so used to doing 300 TDIs. Let me go and get a thin wall socket. Well, naturally I don't have a 19mm thin wall socket, so we're going to use 3/4. That's going to do it just fine. Almost exactly the same. So here we go. We're going to tighten that down to 60 Newton meters. There. And now we're going to fire up our digital thingamajig, which is probably going to sleep. Indeed it has. And now we're going to tighten this one down to 150 degrees. Get the socket starting. Now the nice thing is about this, it beeps. So we're up 0 degrees now. You can see why I've fastened it down there. There we go. That was easy, wasn't it? Now we move on to the next one, which is number 2, which is this one, the same again. Let's do that. This torque wrench here is very good for measuring angles and degrees, because we're going from 150 degrees to 140, 120. But the nice thing is about it is, it'll ratchet and keep the knowledge in its head where it is for Newton meters. So for example, we're going to tighten this bolt down to, which one is it now? Number 8. This wants to be 150, so here we go. See, that's 88. You remember 88? Not yet. That's it. See, you just ratchet it, isn't that good? So there we go. Wasn't as painful as all that, was it? You remember when in the book they have a little gauge and with a needle and messing about with that. And you can't get it under a Discovery or a Range Rover when you're doing the back bolts. Anyway, that's done. And look at this. Isn't this just marvellous? Forward thinking from Land Rover. They even put a provision to put your pen. My, they think of everything now, this company. Now, if only they made better cars. Now, what's next? Well, we can finish off this area here. We can do the rockers, rocker shaft, push rods. I'll put the injectors in last because we're going to have to turn this engine over to set the valve clearances. So that's what we're going to do next. So the next thing we're going to do is put these little caps on the valves. These are from MWM down in Brazil. We don't use the Chinese ones. Some people don't even bother putting them on. They think, well, it's not unnecessary. But the cap itself spreads the weight across the rocker arm itself. It's, you know, like it's more surface area, that's what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, the rocker will get an indentation of the valve. That's not good. We'll put them on. I don't know why they come in packs of 10. Probably think we're going to lose them. We are professionals here, you know. There we go. And keep them for another job. There they are, 10 of them. So that's those. Now we can get the rocker shaft out, and if you can remember, we've already taken this apart in another video, so it's good to go. It's all ready to go, which is nice. I just put it in some plastic bags to keep off the dirt and the dust. There we go. I refaced off these rockers. Some people said you shouldn't do it, but I've never had a problem with them. So we're going to get these in. I don't know how we're going to fit them. Right, the next thing it's asking for is to tighten down the rocker shaft. But before that, just pay attention that you haven't knocked any of those little caps down inside the rocker tubes, because I did, and I managed to get it out by magnetising a long thin screwdriver, and it came out. So just careful, because these are a worst design of a rocker shaft ever on the 200 TDI. No wonder they got rid of it, because it's all in multi-segment pieces. Nothing's actually held together like on the 300 TDI. It's got clips on, so it won't bounce out. But oh well, there you go. This one's a world of its own. So it says in the book this has got to be 30 Newton meters, which isn't much, and it says we have to do them even. Yeah, I don't like this idea of a rocker shaft. It's easy to get to the valves and things like that. But just a bit of an even Stephen pull down. This one's taking, that's getting there now. That's it for that one. That's it for that one. That's for that one. Swap the socket over and do these little 10mm heads. I don't, again, why didn't they just put all the bolts the same heads? I don't know. We will never work it out. Right, it's time to do the valve clearances. Pretty simple. 4-cylinder, now to write home about. 1/8,000th of an inch or 0.2mm on your gauge. Now, people going on about this rule of 9, forget all that, it's too complicated. All we do when we're going to rock these two valves, so you'll see in a minute, and then we set this one. And then when these two are rocking, we set that one. And then when these two are rocking, we set this one. It's kind of easy. It's quicker because you can do it all in just like 2 revolutions. I don't know if you can see this. Wait a minute, let me come around here. We'll zoom in. I'll do one and then you'll sort of understand. So I've got a big bar on the crank, And you can see, wait a minute, there, you see the point of rocking? See that? These two, you can actually put your fingers on them and feel them. And that'll be a sign we're going to set the back ones. Alright, we're going to set these back ones. So I need a flat blade screwdriver, which I'm having. Little bit of engine oil on your feeler gauge, that helps because you can see when you're adjusting them, so you can set both at the same time. So this one's backing off a bit, and when you see the oil move on your feeler gauge, that's the time to lock them up. Oh shit, there it goes again. The bloody thing had popped out again. It's just on the edge of the hole. So I've got one of these little magnet things here. Make your screwdriver magnetic. Gotcha. So we've got that one done. Now we're going to turn it half a turn. And we're watching for the next valve to rock. Rock, let's rock. It'll be, I think it's that one. Looks like it, doesn't it? Is it? Huh? Yeah. So now we're going to set this one, this pair here. I'll do that and then I'll come back. Right, it's time to fit the rocker box. Now these have got these little half moon seals to go in the end for the cam, so we're just going to kick start that by putting a little bit of RTV in there and push the little piece down inside that slot. You'll see it. The RTV will just take up any slack space. We'll just put a little bit of RTV on that corner because we can. We're not going to RTV down the whole gasket. We don't need to. Oh, that's what that hole's for. The valve cover gasket, I've not seen this type for a while. It seems to be a lot better. It's a bit wider. Just be careful when you do this, because I've left this in there for about 24 hours because it takes shape. When it comes in the bag, you know, a bag of gaskets all crumpled up, so it makes life a little bit more interesting. Like that. It drops out. Right, so when it drops out, there's only one answer for that. We're going to put some beads, a little tiny bead of RTV, and put a weight on it and let it set. Yeah, because it's about lunch. Oh no, what time is it? It's 3:15. What happened to the day? Yeah, we'll put some weight on it, leave it, and then we'll come back tomorrow.